Hi, I'm Adila.
I'm Hsuan.
You're listening to
Kiasu Book Club. Anyway, thank you, Callista, for suggesting this name for today's episode.
How time flies.
Yeah, how time
We're now in the
flies.
final chapters of this book, My Robot Gets Me.
Yeah, so we are on the 4th episode for this whole book. Today we are closing up 7 to 9. Yay!
If this episode is how you're getting exposed to us for the first time, we highly recommend for you to start back at chapter 1 to follow along.
And also, we want to thank everyone who has diligently followed us along from chapter 1 all the way till now. Yeah, we are at the end of our journey already.
So far, if you guys are aware, we have 5 circles that this book actually covered. So we have went through presence, expression, interaction, and context. Now we're on the last outer circle, which is called ecosystems. Yes.
That's chapter 7.
So the author opened with sharing how she managed to lose weight with the help of products, putting info and activity together to form one full picture.
And then there's this ecosystem of like a food intake, activity tracker, weighing machine, and also a calendar, all working together to help her achieve the goal. So she's able to kind of put data together, for example, graph of her weight versus like the calendar. And then she's able to draw insights like, okay, when in my calendar that I see a spike, maybe Thanksgiving, and that allows me to draw correlations between the numbers and also what's happening in her life.
So basically, the product that tracks and generates data is said to be connected to the cloud. Ultimately, it's part of an ecosystem.
What she's saying is that ecosystems are made possible
Only
with
with
cloud.
Yes.
Yeah, in the sense in this book, cloud, it's the core to social life of products. Yeah. So I like how the author also used a tablet as an example to illustrate why cloud is essential. Because let's say you purchase a tablet with preloaded books inside, right? And then in this case, the tablet is offline. And once you finish all the books in the tablet, then it kind of loses its appeal because you just flush all the contents inside lah. So it has no new content to entertain you in a way. Yeah, but if you connect this tablet to the cloud, then suddenly it adds a very social dimension because you can stream, you can download more content and then expand your book library.
Or you can be recommended to explore other content lah, right?
Yeah, or like let's say you heart certain books, right? Then it recommends you.
So they maybe search books in a similar topic.
Yeah. So it adds a lot more color to your reading journey, lor.
Okay. So you might be thinking how being a part of an ecosystem benefits a product. So the author actually gave an example using the robot Moxi that she mentioned. I think this was introduced in previous chapters before.
Yeah, the hospital robot.
Yes, correct. The one that is an assistant for the nurses, right?
Yeah.
So basically the example that the author gave was asking the robot Moxi to pick up a cup. So for us humans, our brains understand how hard to place a cup based on the material. So for example, if you are holding a plastic cup, you can just be carelessly just plonk it on the table, it's fine. But if it's a glass cup, ceramic cup, you'll be more careful. You can roughly gauge the weight and then you know how to control, how to move it without scratching the surface. But for a robot, they have to analyze it first.
Yeah.
They need to sense, okay, what material is this? Okay, when I'm working with a certain material, how do I handle it? So all these things are data that they need to process. So every time a robot has a new task, every part has to be analyzed and computed. And for us humans, it's common sense.
Yeah, it comes very naturally.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
So, but by being in an ecosystem, the robot can rely on other robots' knowledge shared on the cloud. So it's like being powered by robot crowdsourcing. So they have access knowledge without having to learn firsthand.
It's like one robot can go out there and analyze all the materials. And then this robot will take this information and he
Upload
kind
to
of
the cloud.
tell all his other robot friends like, hey, okay, next time if you see a bowl, then this is what you should do. So that is basically what the author says is cloud robotics.
Yes.
Yeah.
So cloud robotics is a system where robots share the knowledge about the world, meaning a robot could tap on the knowledge without having to learn about it firsthand.
It's like a shared brain between the robots, and that really drastically reduce the time and the effort for robots to learn. Because I had a nephew now, right? Yeah, so I kind of see through how to navigate the world. Yeah, and it's a nice feeling when I read this book also. Because it's like he has to learn, he doesn't even know a fork is to poke onto food. Yeah, so we have to teach him that, okay, you see this 3 prongs thing, right? You have to push it into the food.
So it's similar to like a robot.
yeah, it's similar like, because he doesn't know. So it's
correct.
really, you need to slowly teach him as well. Yeah, so just imagine like my nephew going to other kids, right? And then telling them, oh, you know, there's this fork thing. Next time you see a fork, right, you surprise your parents by pushing into the food without them teaching you, you know?
I don't think he will go that far.
And then the author also mentioned these prolific examples of the use of cloud robotics are speech recognition or natural language understanding.
I guess when it comes to speech recognition, the cloud robotics comes in useful because they would be able to build a database of commonly used speech patterns, especially on a local context level.
Yeah,
For example, like I mean, when you speak in English, you speak in a certain speech pattern, but when you translate to Malay or Chinese or maybe Hokkien, it's very different.
Yeah. And I think it's a good example because the linguistics of this changes over time.
Yes.
Yeah, like last time, maybe English people say like, yo, howdy, yo. Then like nowadays, people don't really say that because that is quite dated, right?
Yeah, we say hey,
sup.
hi.
Like, what's up?
Okay, what's up is very informal already to me.
But like all this evolution of how we greet each other even like needs to be, the robot needs to catch up with us also in terms of speech recognition.
So basically we wanted to wrap up this section by summarizing how this actually applies to us designers. So being connected to the cloud means being part of an ecosystem. It adds a crucial social element that designers need to factor into their design process.
Yeah. For example, let's say a health company has 3 different products, right? And then the product individually run experiments to understand their customers' behavior and insights. It would be nice if these 3 products can pull into this shared reservoir of understanding about their users and their customers. Yeah, so then this new understanding can even propagate back to these 3 products so they can continue to iterate.
I guess it's useful especially for user researchers.
Because it's the first time I hear of this cloud robotics thing. Maybe a push or probe to designers is like, let's say your product that you are designing is part of an ecosystem of products also. Then how can cloud robotics take place in the ecosystem that you are in?
Okay.
Yeah, so all these are just examples or also like stories to back up how this multiple device can drive one experience and one ecosystem. Yeah, so we close up this by talking about how this can apply to us as designers.
Yeah. So designers would be expected to craft interactions that can be transferred from one device to another seamlessly. And I think it also reminded you of something, right?
Because an ecosystem is only possible with cloud. But that also goes to show like we are heavily dependent on being online for this ecosystem to work. I remember in our job as product designers, we always need to think of either, this one can be done locally, which is offline, or this one needs to be relied online. And then if there's a posting and fetching data, then we have to come up with the error scenarios. Basically, when internet fails on you lah. Yeah. So I think one thing I wish it was mentioned in this book, right, is that it should acknowledge that when there's online, there will also be situation where the internet is wonky or fails. Yeah. So designer always need to design for the failed or fallback scenario lah.
Yes, correct.
So to close off ecosystem, the author also used this Weddings as an example and how it maintains its branding through the 5 circles that we have went through.
Weddings is a brand, right?
Have you heard of Weddings?
No.
It's the health / fitness brand.
Oh, okay.
With readings as an example, for the first circle, presence, it's actually has soft, natural materials like leather or fabric, and it's usually white and grey color. So it's very feathery, yeah. And in terms of expression, it has a harmonious palette of sound and easy to read display. So it's very approachable and very easy to use. Yeah, in terms of interaction, there is a consistent input. They draw a lot of traditional physical elements. For example, the Readings has a smartwatch, and then they purposely put a watch crown. So that is like this ode to traditional watches lah. And then for context is basically it focuses a lot on your home environment. So the products are all in the home and they work together so perfectly. Yeah, and that makes it an ecosystem lah. Yeah, so that's how Readings is a good example according to the author, where it kind of tick the boxes of the 5 circles in a framework.
Tapping on that also, I feel that Readings is giving a very unified brand experience, which I think is quite important for us designers to take into consideration. So as designers, I'm sure you might be wondering why we should prioritize designing a unified brand experience. Because having a unified brand experience promotes an elegant feeling, elevates confidence in products, and also eventually streamlines a user data flow. So it makes for an enjoyable experience that fits into one lifestyle. So you don't find yourself fumbling with many apps at different points of the day. For example, at 10 a.m. I should be turning on this app, at 2 p.m. I should switch on this app. It's just
works.
Yeah, it just works as a brand.
Yeah. Actually, this reminds me of design system. Yeah, like because design system is there to also support an ecosystem. Yeah. So I think this ecosystem in this case is really very close to us as product designers.
Okay. That wraps up our chapter 7 on designing ecosystems.
Take a break. Okay, chapter 8 on AI and social savvy.
For this chapter, author's main message for the book is basically when it comes to consumer products, social value holds more weight than any other aspect of the product's performance.
So, the author's framework, which is the 5 rings, describe how a product knows when, why, and how to interrupt, aid, assist, service, welcome, blend in, stand out, or other socially participatory events. Yeah. So, for a robot to be so like a human, right, to know when to speak, when to not speak, when it's socially acceptable to do certain stuff, right? There is actually a discrete and strategic use of the features, which, in her view, AI represents one of the tech that is possible for this to happen.
One example is basically the Moxi robot that we mentioned before. How to train a robot to recognize different kind of doors in the hospital. How to train a robot to recognize intruders trying to scam their way in. You might be wondering like, okay, how exactly do we really train a robot? That's where AI comes in.
So the author also mentioned, though AI will be a key ingredient to social intelligent products, it is only a tool to be used in the design process, and she mentioned it's not the heart and soul of the product. Yeah. So honestly, when I was reading this, I was wondering, because this book was released in 2021, 3 years ago, and 2023 and 2024 is the year of AI. Even last Saturday, I was at a cafe and there's this bunch of uncle auntie. They were talking about AI.
Wow.
Yeah.
What were they talking about?
Just use AI lor. So even your neighbor uncle auntie also talking about AI. It's so prevalent now, right? And it just seems like it's really taking over in terms of the adoption. So I just really wonder, in 2024, for Carla Diana, if you're listening, like what do you think? Have your views changed as well? Because it seems to be the heart and soul of a lot of products and also a lot of people's conversations now. Yeah.
I think because her experience herself, she's been working in this scene for very long, right? For many years. The author also mentioned that AI has a lack of common sense knowledge. An example that she actually mentioned was a New York University professor pointed out AI could actually beat the world's Go champion, would continue playing even if the room was on fire.
Basically saying that the AI only knows how to master Go game.
Yeah.
But does not have the senses to know
the situation
what's happening in the room.
Yeah. So basically the presence of the fire is not part of the data set that is recorded. The AI just ignores it.
And continue playing the
continue
game
playing
because it's coded to do so.
Yes, in a fire-filled room.
Like the "this is fine" meme.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, as humans, if we are participating in such a competition and then there's fire, obviously we will stop.
No, I won't.
Oh, really?
My dedication will bring me to win the game.
Okay.
I'll be like, hey, my opponent left already. Winner! No,
okay, that's
kidding,
one way, but then it's risking your life.
Yeah. So that's AI, right?
Yeah. So that's AI. I recall also an example from the AI movie. There's the lead hero is Will Smith. In one scene, he was trying to rescue a survivor in a car. Then the robot actually jumped in and wanted to rescue him instead. But to him, it's like, no, you go and rescue the girl inside the car. But the robot kept insisting, saying that, oh, you have a higher survivability rate.
So the robot scans the two of them.
Yes,
and
correct.
then analyzes which one has the survival rate for both.
Yeah.
And that's because it's being coded to do so lah.
Yes, yeah. To him, the Will Smith character, to him, robots are just clockwork. No common sense to see like which one is the more viable option to actually rescue first.
They don't. Basically, they lack the soft skills.
Yeah. So that's AI. So for AGI, it's basically a non-existent software that displays a human-like ability.
AGI is artificial general intelligence.
Yeah. So AGI is basically not really something which is possible right now. Yeah. You will see it more often like being done in movies.
Yeah, like I remember like Ex Machina.
Yes, correct.
It's basically really one-to-one mapping to a human.
Correct.
Yeah, which is a bit creepy. Which I think when AI came out, that's what a lot of people... Okay, so I think the reason why author even bring this example, AI versus AGI, right? Because I think there's a misconception, like when AI first came out, a lot of people think that it's AGI. Like, robots are taking over the world, like, is this a dystopian in the making? Yeah, because they think that AI is human, like it's gonna replicate our peers. Yeah, whereas the point that she wants to make here is that AI is really a set of code.
Yeah, just trained to do what we set out to do.
Yeah. Whereas AGI is coded like human brain, which I think till this day no one has decoded how human brain works.
Yeah.
The author also mentioned that products will be much more effective and successful when they can behave and respond appropriately in specific contexts. Yeah, so a wise approach to a socially intelligent product design, right, will be to call for the acknowledgement of the interface's limitations rather than, an overly eager attempt to replicate what a human might do. Yeah, so that is almost like setting expectations lah.
Yeah. So stating that the robot was not all-knowing but processing and learning on the go. Just like when you are setting expectations, you make the robot look a certain way so that people can have a certain expectation of it. So one example is by using toddler aesthetics on a robot, people may expect the robot to be friendly.
Or like still learning.
Yeah,
like a baby. Yeah, I think that's what she wants. She mentioned also, like in some of the robots that they designed, they purposely use like bubbly eyes, like more bulbous head, like bigger head and smaller body, basically more cutesy lah, to emphasize that this robot is also learning and growing to interact with this world just like a baby or a toddler would. Yeah. Okay, drawing back to product design, right? When you have user stories with PMs, then they have this in scope and out of scope sections also to tell you that, this user story is only taking care of this certain part. Yeah, so it is also us acknowledging, in a sense, like we are only working on this part, and everything that is stated in out of scope is something that we know exists, but we are not gonna work on that.
So to avoid you going to
Scope creep.
Yeah.
Wow, this word. Cool, yeah. So that wraps up
Chapter 8.
Chapter 8. And then we go to the final chapter. Now what?
Yeah. So basically this final chapter is sort of a bit of a summary of everything that the author has gone through. But at the same time, she also highlighted some takeaways and basically some action items for us designers to take into consideration. She first started with saying designers may have limited influence on organizations' actions, but by you being mindful of social design, about like cloud robotics and whatnot, right, you can raise awareness of social responsibility and make your voices heard as designers. Because it is our responsibility to reflect what human values is to be supported by a product.
Yeah, I agree. Because I think, although it may seem like a small design decision, but especially like, let's say, social design, right? It can affect a person.
Yeah.
So we need to think of the ethics and the responsibility of being able to craft the experience for the end customers.
Yes, yeah, I agree. The author summarized the various case studies of products already using technology. And basically, these products are already enriching people's lives through social features. So for Moxi, the robot, basically what the robot does is assisting exhausted and short-staffed nurses to offload physical tasks with minimal supervision.
Yeah.
So nurses can spend more quality time with patients. One thing I like about Moxi is that they make it like they are there but they're not there. Something like a subtle kind of feeling of you have this assistant
like
around
butler.
Yeah.
They won't intrude you when you are having your private conversations.
But
when they see that you need like a top up in your drink, then they will go.
Or maybe because I can imagine, because nurses, they are busy like trying, they need to get syringe, they need to get tube, or they need to get more tissue, or for example, right? So having Moxi do all that instead, at least the nurses can just focus on going to this patient, seeing what this patient needs, the diagnosis, the medicine, the diagnosis from the doctor, and then she can just focus on that. Then at least the items, Moxi took it for her already.
Right. Yeah, actually I have a nurse friend, and then she told me like a lot of the stress that comes in as a nurse is because apart from dealing with patients, which is very unpredictable, they have to do a lot of logistic stuff, like go and take the medicine, go and like refill the syringe.
Maybe from this walk all the way to the end just to get that.
Yeah. So a lot of this like simple tasks that they need to do on top of handling sometimes quite unstable patients. So I think Moxi would be a really, really good player in this. Actually, I have a random idea, but I wonder if there's
Moxi
any...
XG.
Yes. Similar. I wonder if there's a hospital in Singapore that has a Moxi-like robot. Then we can...
That's true.
Yeah, we can go and see, like, follow up to this episode to see if Singapore has adopted something like that.
Okay. Maybe we can... I do have some... You can ask your nurse friend. I can ask my nurse. I have some cousins who are nurse. Yeah, why not?
If they have, like, robots to help them, and how do they feel?
Yeah, I mean, especially now with the prevalent use of robots in restaurants, serving you food and collecting. I saw at Starbucks they have one.
Starbucks has
Starbucks has one at Vivo.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
but the one is the robot was collecting used items like cups and plastic cups.
Okay. I mean that's also already doing some workflow for the ground staff.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. So next participant is Neato floor cleaning vacuum. So basically what happens is this vacuum, it chirps and sings to let you know when a job is done.
You know I had a Neato.
Serious?
Yes.
And is it still alive?
It's retired already.
Oh.
Yeah.
How many years?
Quite a few years. Like I would say 3 years at least.
So fast.
Yeah. So, okay, this Neato story is brings back to the whole AI discussion, which is a damn funny story, by the way. So Neato is very reliable. In these 3 years of serving, Neato is very good. But it only knows how to clean.
Okay.
So one nightmare that we had last time, because we had Dusty, which is our family cat. Yeah, and then there was this time that she had a bit of a stomach problem.
And then I think it is? Okay, continue.
Go on.
Story.
You let me know. You let me know at the end of our story.
Okay.
But maybe listeners also know like where this is going. So because last time we were all working.
Yeah.
So there was this point in time where only Dusty is at home. Yeah. But
Dusty the cat.
Dusty the cat and Neato is at home. So Neato is set to come out and clean the whole house at the period where we are not at home. Yeah, and then one day we came home and then we saw that basically a lot of poop smeared around the house. So before I even opened the door, I could smell something.
Oh my god.
Like I could smell a stench coming out from my house. Like my mind instantly just knew what happened. Because we know that Neato turns on when we are out. And there's only Dusty also. So I just put 2 and 2 together. I was like, oh shit, literally. Yeah, so when I open the door, it's really just a lot of diarrhea being smeared through all the rooms.
No. The double work for you to clean up the whole thing.
Yes, so basically that's Neato being AI.
So was that his last job?
Yes, that's the reason why he retired.
So where is he now? Is he at your house or throw already?
He's in a storeroom taking a break.
Did you clean the poop?
Yes we did but it's like...
No, I mean, did you clean the poop off his wheels or whatever?
Yes. We just replaced the brush.
Oh.
Yeah, but basically that's a very unfortunate thing.
And you guys never use him again?
Never. Because it's really a nightmare. Imagine you have to clean poop through the house.
Oh my god.
And then plus that time, Dusty is still pooping.
So she will poop randomly anywhere because of a diarrhea.
Of a diarrhea, yeah. So when you're like you're already so flustered, right? Like your bedroom, clean the poop out of bedroom, then she suddenly you can hear her like somewhere else, and you're like, stop.
I think what Neato needs is help from
Moxi. We need a Neato Moxi crossover.
Yeah, like need to detect, okay, this is poop, I shouldn't be.
More sophisticated.
Analyze it. What is this? Poop. Okay, I shouldn't go over it. I'll make a mess.
Yeah, if only it knows then you'll just avoid it,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that's Neato.
Such an interesting... I feel this story is similar to what I had imagined in mind because...
Is it?
Yeah, it's either someone told me or I read somewhere about the robot vacuum actually spread all the poop around the house.
Yeah, I think this is quite a common thing when you have a pet.
Wow.
So with all these participants that we mentioned, right, the potential is quite promising for designers. However, the author also want to present a flip side to this, which is there's a daunting responsibility that comes with utilizing the power of social design. So now we kind of have this framework, right? We know how to engineer social design. She also wants to probe us to think that, okay, products can influence behavior, which gives a level of emotional comfort. But it also can make people succumb to it, to less than ideal outcomes and people's lives. Yeah.
One example would be the over-reliance on social media. The phone or social media becomes a social clutch that inhibits one to practice their social skills in the real world.
I'm sure, like, for example, Facebook, Instagram, when they started out this social product, right? They didn't meant for it to be this way.
Yeah, precisely.
But it's also up to the designers to think like, okay, what is the potential harm that our product may bring? Like, even if it's not obvious, like, let's just squeeze our brain and think of the possibilities.
The ethics are basically...
Yeah, the ethics of it, yeah.
Reminds me of the dinosaur movie where the guy said, when your scientists thought that they could do it, did they stop to think whether they should do it?
Yeah. Yes, that is so
just
true.
because you could do it, you have to stop and think, should you do it?
Basically, she's asking designers to ask bigger questions like how will this product be used? Yeah.
How will it be influencing a person's social and lifestyle?
Yeah, or like how will it be used for good and for evil? Like just asking more radical questions.
Very open-ended kind of question.
Yeah, just to uncover more implications of your product.
So that wraps up our final chapter of this episode, of this book.
This book called Now What? Hope that we know what now.
So how do each of us feel? How do you feel wrapping up this book?
Now
can finally sigh of relief.
Yeah, think of freedom. I feel like we should go to Bintan for vacation.
This is like one of the fastest design book I've read so far.
Yeah, same. 2 months? Oh, 1.5 months.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I'm amazed. And I'm very
pat
proud of us.
Pat each other on our backs, yes.
I'm very proud of us that we actually finished a book in the new year within the first 2 months.
Within Q1,
Yeah, that's
Remember
why.
you said in the intro episode, like one book in Q1.
Oh,
we
yeah,
did
yeah,
it.
yeah. We did it.
Yay! And if you are really following us through these episodes, you did it too.
Yay!
Yeah, so thank you everyone for reading and reviewing along with us. When we started out this concept, I think we did not know the magnitude of the stress to be really vulnerable here. Like this is the most stressful episodes.
The content type.
Because we want to properly represent what's in the book. And I think we put a lot of stress on ourselves because we not only want to represent it, we want to summarize it. We
and
want
put a
to,
bit of spin on it.
Correct, yeah, we want to make it localized. And halfway through it, we receive feedback and we want to make it more designer related.
Yes.
No, but the feedback is really good lah.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
then it makes us more aware of like, how we can make it more beneficial for listeners.
Feedback is always a good thing. It's either you get better or you get worse.
Yeah, I think relief is definitely one of the feelings. How about you, Adila?
I think at the first start, right, we were both very excited to start something new. And then we underestimated how much work goes into creating all these episodes because we have to read, we have to review the points.
And there's a fixed schedule.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Then trying to make sure that whatever we speak and share makes sense and it's able to flow well lah. Because we don't want to be just another audiobook.
I think we want to be in between a Blinkist and an audiobook. Like not too brief, but not too
lengthy.
Word by word.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah. Okay, so I think it's the journey of reading a book, right? It's like when you pick up a new book, you're damn excited.
Yeah, correct.
Then you
correct.
flip a few pages, like, yeah, I'm doing it. And then halfway through, you're just, should I continue on? Like sometimes you have this experience
correct.
with
Especially
books,
certain
right?
areas of the books. I think we both agree. The chapter 3 and 4 was the more heavier topics. Then it was a bit hard for us to get through. But we did it anyway.
Yeah, I'm just really glad that we plowed through.
Yes.
And then we're really at the end of this endeavor.
Yeah. So, but not just because this is our first time, but because this is our first foray into reviewing a book together. Maybe over time as we review more books, we get the better hang of it. We know how to piece things together and then really just capture the essence of the book. Basically.
Yeah, so I think that's the end.
Yes,
that's the end of this book.
Yes, and that's the end of today's episode. So look forward to our next book as we announce it on our socials.
We're continuing this
I don't know.
Kidding.
I'm just telling
Just
you.
kidding.
Just sharing. As a bonus surprise, we will be having a special episode with the author of this book. So look forward for our upcoming interview with her as we speak to her personally.
It's also a good opportunity for you to understand, the person who wrote word for word in this book we probably will go something that is more personal as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very nice closure
To the book.
to this
To
book.
the series.
Yeah. When we sent an email to her,
We really have a lot of high hopes, right? Yeah.
Correct. Because we just thought, okay, small fry, right? Maybe she never replied, but it's also okay.
Yeah.
And then she so gladly like accepted,
yeah,
which made us feel, oh my god, should we message like Apple for free iPhone also? No, just kidding. Ask and you shall get.
Yes. that's our motto this year.
Yeah. So thank you everyone. So look forward to any updates to how you want to change up the structure.
Any
And
feedback
also-
is also welcome.
Yeah.
So just reach out to us to our email at kiasudesignlive@gmail.com or at Instagram at kiasudesignlive. Oh yeah, we have a LinkedIn page as well, so you guys can find us there.
At Kiasu Design Live. Oh yeah, also we have a YouTube channel which is at Kiasu Design Live. So thank you so much
Bye.
for being here. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.